Most recent news as of this recording is last night slash this morning ETH merger. Last we talked about the ETH merger, Joy, you said, "Hey, what difference does it make? Who cares? Just want to make sure that's still where you are. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Big whoop."
Yeah, I don't think it matters that much. I mean, now like I think I said last time, if we cut this segment and we make a little thing that says like ETH merge something, maybe we'll get some traction. I think the biggest thing is ETH now has a product to sell, right? It now has a product to sell. I don't think the ETH network, right? Ethereum is so retail friendly
Mm-hmm.
because of the high gas fees, right? It's still not scalable. However, ETH and Bitcoin are the front runners in the race to having some type of regulation
Mm-hmm.
placed on them, which would mean that any institution that is operating in that framework, right, that regulatory framework, should fairly soon and probably currently should be participating in ETH now because there's no more hardware requirements, right? Like the GPUs to mine Ethereum, and now you just buy ETH. I think that you might see maybe a parabolic rise as institutions start to buy up ETH in order to validate transactions on the world's largest computer.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
my thesis, right? Um, I mean, why not? They say Bitcoin is like gold,
Right.
right? And there's some people that think, well, Ethereum is copper, right? Something you use every day, right? It's like copper.
Yeah.
Uh, if you pull the charts up side by side, the ETH and copper chart actually look very similar. Very similar.
Mm. I've
I
not.
think the
Yeah.
most bullish case for copper is that the only gap on the chart was below its past trading range,
Mm-hmm.
and it dipped down and filled that gap. And so a lot
Mm.
of people that are bullish on copper think it's only up, right? For the next however long because it's still being used all the time. Um, that would mean the same for ETH, right? Theoretically, mean the same for ETH theoretically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's you, you got to think, right? It's like this sick, kind of this circle, right? You have institutions that 4 to 15% return from for validating transactions, and if it takes 32 ETH and stake them, stake the 32 ETH to get that return and validate those transactions, right? Then whoever is buying up ETH to stake, they kind of want the network to be as busy as possible, right? Because the more volume, the more transactions that are going through the network, the more chances they have to validate transactions and get that return on their investment.
Right.
I think with the proof of stake, making it a little bit more centralized in some regards, but also striving towards a fully decentralized network that people can trust, um, enables regulation. If regulation comes in on the ETH network, you might see people like Morgan Stanley uh, offering investment products based on just the ETH validating and that percentage return.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you could see ETH ETFs popping up, people buying ETH, corporations, whatever, just buying ETH just to stake as a way to manage their treasury. The same way that maybe they would, diversify a portfolio and put some in metal, right? The only difference is that like the copper isn't necessarily giving a percentage return, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents. I hope that was clear. Maybe
No.
made
Yeah.
sense.
It was great. I think the comparison is not one I've heard, but I think it's fair as you laid it out. Um. I wonder what the existing mineable supply of copper is, as we think about kind of the deflationary aspect of ETH as it compares to copper that is mineable.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to probably dig into that for the next time we have this conversation.